Hey guys, this video is from our latest Rick and Johnny podcast. Make sure to check out the full podcast on blogtalkradio.com/Rick and Johnny. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know Johnny and I had fun recording it. And we're going to move on into our next conversation, Johnny, and we're going to move into the middle of our Marvel sandwich, and we're going to talk about the DC Extended Universe yet again, and this time it seems like it's more problems for good old DC as the Batman movie that we were supposed to get, the Batman that we were supposed to get for 2018 is going to get pushed back to 2019. And basically, Johnny, the conversation that we are having today that we are going to talk about is DC's got to find a film to plug into that 2018 spot, because on top of Batman getting pushed back a year, Aquaman is getting pushed back only 2 months, but it's still 2 months. It's going from October to December of that year, which, let's be honest, it's going to be going up against, I believe that's the Han Solo film. It's going to be going up against, because usually December is Star Wars month.
Oh, yeah.
2018's an off year, and it's going to be the Han Solo film, so we'll see how it does comparing to that. Hopefully they're not on the same weekend, but I got 5 movies for you. 5 movies, and this is for you guys at home. Which one of these movies should take the place and kind of be fast-tracked into the spot of the Batman? Here they are. The Flash, basically going to be the Flash movie for this DC Extended Universe. The Green Lantern Corps movie, which is basically how they've described it, going to be a buddy cop movie between Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. The Gotham City Sirens, which is kind of a look at Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, with Black Mask being the villain, kind of looking at those 3 villainesses. I was going to say heroines, but they're really not heroes.
Yeah,
they're villains.
They're not.
Looking at them in Gotham City. Suicide Squad 2, which is the second movie for Suicide Squad, and then Dark Universe, which is the kind of Justice League Dark, looking at that dark magic with Constantine at the head of it for that kind of dark side of the Justice League. I'm going to throw it to you first. Which one of those 5 movies do you think that DC should say, let's fast track this one to take over the Batman slot?
I'm going to start by just saying right now, take Green Lantern Corps out of there.
Throw it away?
Just throw it away.
Okay.
Save it for what is it, 2020 they were going to do it? Save it for 2020. Take your time with it. Do better than the first Green Lantern movie you guys put out.
You got to do your due diligence with that one. That's basically what Johnny's saying.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Yeah, it's easy to throw out a buddy cop film. We've had many of them over the past few years, and they've all been funny. Do you want to just throw another one out there like that?
Probably not.
Exactly. So let's take our time with that. Suicide Squad 2 you could do, but you might want to take your time again and retry from the first one, because not absolutely terrible from my perspective. A not as big DC fan as you.
I was not huge on Suicide Squad.
No, so maybe
didn't like it.
I could say you could do it, but take your time, please more of the DC fans. Otherwise, you could throw that one out there. Gotham City Sirens, you already have Margot Robbie set up as Harley Quinn. So we have a Harley Quinn sort of set up. We only have to set up Catwoman, which not too hard to do, and Poison Ivy. Again, not terribly hard to do. Am I correct on that? So, I mean, you could set the 2 of them up in part of the movie, and then
you could really just have it right from the beginning. Like, you don't have to really set them up at all. You could just basically say, hey, we're doing a movie, and here's Catwoman and Poison Ivy, because it's not like those 2 characters are not well known.
Yeah, that, and they're not like detrimental as of now. They're not detrimental to the universe. So I guess you don't necessarily have to set up. It's kind of nice for fans that don't know that stuff
to kind of be baby fed it and stuff.
A little bit. I mean, you don't need like a full blown origin story, but like, hey, here's 5 minutes to explain what goes on with them or what happened to them to make them this way. But yeah, I say one of the ones to start with would probably be Gotham City Sirens.
That's the one I think is...
Yeah, that's one of them.
Out of the 5, that's the one. There's 2 to me, but one is a clear cut. It's Gotham City Sirens.
And then there's one I was going to throw out to you. We could do the Dark Universe, which is...
You're reading my mind, Johnny.
Just so
Karlic.
everyone knows,
You're reading my mind.
They're talking about having it be. Let me get to that part. Constantine, Swamp Thing, Deadman, Zatanna, and say it for me because I don't know how to pronounce it. Etrigan the Demon.
The Demon.
Okay, the Demon. You know what? And you know what? Do kind of like an. Don't do exactly like Suicide Squad, but take this little part from there. 5 minutes for each of them, just to say 2 to 5 minutes, saying this is what they do, this is their powers. This is what they do, this is their powers, and just throw it out there like that. You can kind
of make it though, like you could make it like Justice League.
True,
but dark.
Yeah,
basically, what the name of the comic is, Justice League Dark. I mean, that's more of one where it's kind of like, hey, let's make it not exactly a Justice League movie because that's going to have an overarching story that is a lot bigger than a Justice League Dark movie. But you can take Dark Universe and make it, hey, this is the group of guys and gals from the Justice League that Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they don't deal with this dark magic.
Exactly.
This is the part of the Justice League that deals with the dark side, the supernatural
They specialize
side.
in magic.
Yes.
So obviously you don't have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman fighting that kind of stuff.
And the one thing that is really, 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 really interesting for that movie is Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
He's linked to that film. So to me, I see that and I go, you know what? I loved Pan's Labyrinth. I loved Blade 2. I loved the Hellboy series. In Hellboy, we got some of that supernatural in that movie. So to me, I look at that and go, you know what? You're trying to set yourself up for success.
You're pandering to their specialties.
Those were the two movies, though, that I thought would be the clear cuts. The first one, Gotham City Sirens, because that's a movie to me that doesn't need a lot. It doesn't need a lot. You have your star in Margot Robbie. You can get somebody for Catwoman. You can get somebody for Poison Ivy. They already have Black Mass casts and ready to go. So to me, that is one that I believe it's also the one that's further along on the script portion of things. So to me, they could throw that movie together, kind of fast track that one. And I'm going to just say, guys, whenever I hear the words fast and track when it comes to these superhero movies, I get nervous, very nervous. And the reason why is you want these things, especially more with DC.
Yeah,
I
DC.
get way nervous because it's one of those things where it's like, great, I already have movies in your lineup, Suicide Squad, Batman versus Superman, just to name two of them, that I really could not stand. And let's be honest, Green Lantern, although I will watch it on a weekend, it's probably, I know, not the bestly made movie. Yes, bestly is now a word now. The bestly made movie. But it's one of those things where I'm already nervous about your movies and you haven't proven me wrong. So then you say fast track and I go, fuck, I'm sweating. That's usually what I say. I'm not literally sweating now, guys. I'm just saying like, shit, I'm sweating and I'm nervous. But Gotham City Sirens to me is a movie you could fast track. It could be like, not buddy cop, but it could be like that just short story where it's a one overarch story from beginning to end, doesn't have to go on. And then you have an extra credit scene that could set up Justice League. It could set up the Batman. It could go into Suicide Squad 2.
True.
There are so many things that you can do with that after credit scene that basically it's kind of like Suicide Squad, where this is not something I hated about it, but it's kind of like Guardians in this sense, where you have this movie, it goes from point A to point B, and then boom, at the end you get the extra credit scene that just kicks the can down the road. It kicks that universe can right down the road, so that you can be like, oh, okay, this is what we are going to. This is what is going to happen. And I think Gotham City Sirens, plus it's a Gotham movie and you're not taking away, you're like, okay, we're going to come out with a Batman film. Well, now it's going to be a Gotham film. It's that same kind of theme to it, or Dark Universe, because that could be a similar thing. It's an
Same
overarching
feel.
story, A to B, and then boom, your post-credit scene kind of sets up something else that you wanted to.
Now, let me just throw this out there as the third one, because we both agree. Green Lantern, you have to take your time on.
Save it for 2020.
Suicide Squad 2, we'd rather have you take your time on.
The thing with that one that really, like, I would say Suicide Squad 2 could be in the running for that spot, but the really thing that kind of panders it is right now they're kind of still deciding between Mel Gibson, Daniel Espinosa. This is where it was. He wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean, or he was, that's the life director. That's what it is. He's being thought about to maybe be the Suicide Squad 2 director.
Okay.
So you have Mel Gibson, Danny Espinosa, Jonathan Levine of Snatch, and then Ruben Feshler of Zombieland. They still don't have a director.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where if I am DC, Suicide Squad is kind of like the Green Lantern Corps. Let's take it off the table. I don't want to hire a guy to be the director that's the wrong guy for this job. Let's go ahead and say, you know what, let's do our due diligence and say we're going to find the guy that rightly fits the project. And then I look at the other two and I go, you know what, all right, look at the other one. Don't do the Flash. Do not fast track the Flash, because the one rule that I have is if it's a major Justice League person, don't fast track the movie.
The only way I could say...
Don't cheat the Flash.
The only way I could say fast track the Flash is if he got a really good director and just make it his origin story.
So you're saying his origin story is not too hard to do?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't say necessarily. It's a lightning storm makes chemicals, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a lot to do with, and then set him up with a villain that everyone knows.
What villain would you set? I'm gonna throw the ball in your court.
Okay.
What Flash villain would you set up for the movie?
You know, that's a hard one to choose because there's a few of them, a few good ones to choose from. Mirror Master is a good opponent for him. I'm trying to think of one that could kind of tie in with Justice League or any of the stuff we've seen so far. Maybe Gorilla Grodd is a good villain to have. He's just a good villain overall.
Maybe you can have the Cold. Captain Cold.
Captain Cold, yeah.
I call him Mr. Cold. I'm like, no, that's not right. Captain Cold.
It's Mr. Freeze, Captain Cold.
You could have that in there. Right now, the only thing that the Flash movie has is it's set for 2020.
Yeah.
We've got 3 writers, and then we have Miller's going to be the Flash. We've got Clemens is going to be Iris West. We've got Kurt Up is going to be Henry Allen.
Yes.
And then Ray Fisher is going to be Victor Stone / Cyborg.
Yeah,
so
Cyborg.
that's all we have for the Flash right now. They don't even have a director as well.
No, so I mean, I wouldn't fast track it, but if you had to choose,
I wouldn't fast track a major guy. I wouldn't do it.
Come on. We can fast track the Flash pretty quickly.
Aha! I got your joke because
Yeah.
he's fast and he can kind of break.
Exactly.
He can break the speed force. Ha,
Yeah.
ha,
No. Anyways, I would.
Ha! I forgot to laugh, Johnny. I forgot to laugh. That's me laughing because I forgot to.
Oh, so, well then you didn't forget to.
Ha!
You didn't forget to.
Ha! But go on.
Anyways, no. Preferably don't fast track like you said the major ones. But if you had to choose one of the 2 majors to fast track. The Flash, he's got a little simpler origin story. You're not trying to set up 2 because they, like they said, they want to do a buddy cop film for Green Lantern Corps. And we've kind of had a bad Green Lantern movie already. So the Flash is...
You're really harping on this bad Green Lantern movie.
It was bad. Even Ryan Reynolds made fun of it.
In Deadpool.
In
He
Deadpool,
blatantly
exactly.
made fun of it.
I think more than once.
Yeah, blatantly made fun of it.
Yes. So, I mean, let's not do that again. And Flash has a simple, I would say a simple backstory to set up, and you don't want to do it wrong though. So I mean, if you rush it too much, then yeah, you're gonna get a really bad film. If you do it the right way, pick the one good villain, and maybe have an after credit scene that gets him started in the Justice League a little bit, or maybe ties it like right to the start where you're gonna get him going towards the Justice League. Then yeah, that would be pretty cool. Or like this, throw in the scene from Batman v Superman where he's in the convenience store and stops the robbery real quick in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if we're fast tracking the Flash, how it would go in the kind of arc is 2017. We would get Wonder Woman and we would get Justice League 1.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to worry about setting him up for the Justice
You're right.
League.
I forgot about that
because he'd be in
timeline.
there. What it would be is the interesting thing is it would put him ahead of, because right now if we're going 2020. I'm assuming they're going to do it in between Cyborg and Green Lantern, because if Cyborg's in the Flash, and if it just said Victor Stone, I would say it would be before Cyborg, but it'll probably be to me kind of May, June, or maybe even later, like November. It could be after Green Lantern, because they've got April 3rd right now as the set date for Cyborg, and July 24th is the set date for Green Lantern Corps. So they could maybe make it in October, a late fall kind of a release date for the Flash. If they're going to do them in 2018, that means you put them ahead of Aquaman. That means whatever story you have right now, you don't have to tweak it entirely, but you have to tweak it enough to be like, how does he fit now into the story?
Yeah.
Because up until if we're going to when he's originally going to be out, Shazam's already introduced, Aquaman's already introduced, Cyborg's already introduced. If you fast track the Flash, then you also have to change Cyborg. And Cyborg maybe can't be in it, or if he's in it, well, really, yeah, it could be a thing where he either just has to be Victor Stone, or the Cyborg can't be in it. Because it would be too far ahead of the timeline, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we introduce characters without having origin stories anyways, just in Batman v Superman. So I'm just saying, I mean, it's not an impossibility, but it's not the best way to go about it.
It depends on what they want to do for Cyborg.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Depends on what because are you going to fast track this movie to change what you're doing in another movie? I would look at that and go, no. Let's not let's not let this Batman film be a domino of destruction, basically.
True. Which is why I'm just saying, you know what, if you had to choose one of the two main ones,
Gotham City Sirens or Dark Universe.
I'm saying those are the two top ones to pick. If you had to pick one of the main two of the Justice League, I'd go Flash over Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean,
to fast track. If you're going to fast track one of those two, I would fast track.
I would maybe disagree with you.
Yeah?
Only because it's one of those things where Green Lantern Corps, if we're just looking Flash Green Lantern Corps, how it's described a buddy cop movie between the two.
True.
It's kind of like Guardians to me. They are out in space doing their own thing.
It's not tied in with everything
it's
yet.
Not tied in until
you know what?
the after credit.
So you're right. You know what? You're right.
Johnny just really hated the first Green Lantern and really doesn't want them to fuck it up.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Green Lantern fan, but I don't want to see another one of those.
And the thing that's interesting about it is it's Jordan and Stewart.
Yes.
So which one joins the Justice League? That's going to be a topic maybe for a later podcast.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
Which one do they go with? Do they go with Stewart? Do they go with Hal
Which
Leonard?
lantern do we get?
Which one? Or basically, do they kill off Hal Leonard because, they fucked him up the first time with that movie that Johnny really didn't like. But before we move on, Johnny, I do this all the time to you. Anything we missed in this topic?
No, I think we got a good idea of which ones we think should be chosen for to replace it, either Gotham City Sirens or Dark Universe. I myself, the two would prefer to see Dark Universe, but I get why to go with Dark.
You like that
Gotham
kind
City
of
Sirens.
dark magic
I
stuff.
like it. Hellboy was phenomenal.
You also like
Pan's
Doctor
Labyrinth,
Strange, which
Doctor
was
Strange,
also magical.
Got magical. I like those movies. Thor, even it's got like a tie-in like that. So I do like those types of movies. But Gotham City Sirens, like you said, has more of a way of setting other things up. At least a little better way of doing it.
And this is where you guys come in. Let us know down below what you guys think in the comment section. Which of the 5 would you choose? You have the Flash, you have Dark Universe,
Green Lantern
Gotham
Corps,
City Sirens, you got Green Lantern Corps, and then the last one was Suicide Squad 2. So let us know down in the comment section down below what you guys think.
Thank you everyone for watching the Rick and Johnny podcast. Click right here to watch another squanchy video, and let's get riggedy wrecked!